So I have our Minister of Economic Development and Trade, uh, Ontario's Minister Vic Fedeli with me. And Minister Fedeli has been to India quite a few times earlier too. Once again, he's visiting India, and we are going to talk to him about that mainly, but we will touch some other issues as well. Minister, welcome to Parvasi Media Group.
It's great to be back. Thank you.
Okay, so you have been to India a few times earlier too. So what's your experience and any progress you want to share with us on that?
Well, I mean, we've had very wonderful experiences in India. We absolutely love being there. It's always a treasure for us. We go every year. And so this mission as well will really be to expand our deep ties that we have. But mostly, this is a business mission. This is a take off the jacket, roll up the sleeves,
Yeah.
sit across the table from other business members with the whole goal of attracting new businesses here into Ontario to go along with the success we've had in the past.
Okay, so there are so many fields where we have bilateral interest between Ontario and India. We know that India is one of the leading, fastest progressing economy in the world. So, what are the areas you want to narrow down where we can work along with them in a perfect way?
Yeah, it's good that you asked because this is a very specialized trip. We are going to Bangalore, so it's really geared on tech this trip.
Okay.
So we're meeting one-on-one with tech companies, a little bit of life sciences as well, but primarily it's tech. So that's why we're going to Mumbai and then Bangalore. But we're also having a round table from the Indo-Canadian Business Chamber. So the ICBC will have a round table in Mumbai, and they'll have a round table in Bangalore as well with senior Indian business executives. So this is really business to business.
Okay. I accompanied our former premier, Dalton McGuinty, and also accompanied Catherine Wynne, our former premier. But I think Mr. Ford's visit is also long due. Do you think that it can happen sometime in future?
Well, you know, the pandemic really changed a lot of how we work in general. And so I would say he's got another Ford who went to India last year, Minister Michael Ford.
Yes. Yeah.
He's our Minister of Heritage and Culture, and it's very important that he attend India as well. But look, we have a great working relationship. Mine, unlike the previous premiers who went, where they bring a big mission with them, lots of pomp and ceremony. Mine are roll up the sleeves, sit in a room, one-on-one with prospects. Sometimes it's with companies who have already come to Ontario. So we've seen great success with some of those companies who are already here in Ontario, whether it's Infosys, HCL. We landed both of those for big operations in Mississauga now, 1,000 people or more. Zoho went out in Cornwall, you know, Paytm, LTTS, Tata Consultancy. These are all companies. If we see them on this trip, it will be once again to say, how are you doing here? Thank you for being here. How can we bring more? And if it's with other companies, they will be very confidential meetings. So we won't be tweeting them out. You know, we want to keep our cards very close to the vest.
Okay, unfortunately, India and Canada, they are not having very warm relations for the last, few months now, I would say, since Prime Minister Trudeau visited for G20 summit. So, do you think that that has affected your efforts, which you are doing for the past few years now?
Well, we'll leave the geopolitical issues to the federal government. That's the way I look at it. And my message going into India will be very simple. Our value proposition that we have hasn't changed. That's still there. All the core fundamentals for all of those Indian businesses who made the decision to come to Ontario and open a facility, those fundamentals are still in place. The value proposition in Ontario hasn't changed a bit. So let's keep coming. And Ontario pensions are still investing in India.
Okay. Recently, our Minister of Immigration, Federal Minister, has said that now there will be a particular quota allotted to the provinces to bring in more international students. So Ontario was always at number one as far as international students are coming from India. So now, what do you see the prospectus and particularly how it's going to affect our private career colleges because they are not being considered for these admissions?
Well, it's a decision made by the federal government, and we'll continue to show the federal government how our public colleges and universities are doing such a wonderful job with international students. It's also those students that we need for our workforce. So this has further ramifications. So we know it's in the proposal stage, and we've heard loud and clear from the colleges and universities in Ontario, to not let a few bad actors trouble the whole system going forward. Let's figure out where the problem is. Let's remove those bad actors and allow us to move forward with the important role of training our future workforce. I think that's really where we are.
Okay, Minister, Canada and India has a long history of bilateral trade and relations. Food processing can be one of the other important fields where we can work on road transportation, hydroelectric, so many, so many.
Yeah.
So other than the IT sector, any other field where you think that we have a lot of potential which is untapped yet?
Yeah, I think certainly in the life sciences, there's a really great opportunity for two-way. We do almost $5 billion in two-way trade, but it's 400 million from Ontario and more than 4.5 million from India. So we've got a lot of work to do from the Ontario side in terms of our trade with India. So the life sciences will be an important
life science USA. Okay. 15 billion was the target at one time, and we were very close to sign the free trade agreement. I'm interviewing Minister Mary Ng for last many years, and she was quite happy that we are very close. But unfortunately, as I said, things in the past were not so good for both the countries. But you think that Ontario and India can continue with those warm relations?
Well, again, what we're offering to India and what we're receiving back, that value proposition hasn't changed. So I think so. We got almost 800,000 people of Indian origin that live here in Ontario. That's very important. It's a very, very large population. It's the largest in Canada. Is concentrated here in Ontario. We saw how we became even tighter and stronger friends through the pandemic, where Ontario shipped 5,000 ventilators to India during the heat of the height of the pandemic. We're friends, and friends will always respect one another and work together. We think there's great business to do, and that's what we'll focus on the business. The federal government can certainly focus on the geopolitical issues, but we want both the jurisdictions to ring the cash register.
Okay. Anything you want to add at the end, Mr. Fedeli?
India has been a great friend to me personally. I've always loved visiting India. I love the families that we meet. I love the business people that we meet. We love the food, of course. Who wouldn't? So I really am looking forward But not only are we going next week, we're also going on our traditional November/December trip. So that, stay tuned. End of November, first week of December, we'll be back in India. Really looking forward to that.
Okay, thank you so much, and all the best for your in this another India trip. As you said, India is known for its hospitality, one of the best host nation in the world, and I'm sure you are enjoying Indian hospitality whenever you are visiting there. And good luck. And when you come back, we will meet again, talk again.
Yes.
Whatever progress you made during this visit.
Yes, because I think we'll have great success on this visit. So hopefully we'll talk again in a couple of weeks.
Thank you. All the best, Minister.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.